Окей. Hello, здраво, привет. Приветствую, everybody. Welcome to another live stream. This is the 16th one already. Wow. Today is an interesting day, and Russia has done some interesting things that I have to say were completely expected by me. They were completely expected by just about every single Russian out there, I guess now all over the world. The amount of laws that have been just passed and the things that they change are quite huge. Don't want to overplay this, but let's get into it, shall we? Hello, last one 207. So, the State Duma has done quite a lot of things. First of all, the main thing that happened, the digital military enlistment office is almost ready. So in November, Vladimir Putin introduced the Ministry of Digital Development, Communications and Mass Media to create a centralized database of all conscripts in Russia by 1st April of 2024. The new super database should integrate data from other existing registers and databases, including the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Federal Tax Service, Central Election Commission, Pension Fund, National Guard, Ministry of Education and Science, and Ministry of Health, and other departments as well. This is amazing. I am pretty sure that Vladimir Putin is extremely excited for this technology to be at his hands, like literally almost in his hands as of now. This is the thing that I was talking about almost 4 months ago, I think. One of the first videos I ever made was about this. And now it's here. And this super database, what does and what will it have as food for thought for all of these hungry people in the government? This digital profile of each person, mainly for conscription purposes, will include criminal record, the right to drive a vehicle as well as a tractor driver's license, so farmers, participation in medical activities, health status, addiction, mental illnesses, HIV and so on, service in the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Emergencies Ministry, State Fire Service System, National Guard, Federal Penitentiary Service, and Federal Belief Service. I don't know what's this, but students of full-time universities and colleges, as well as full-time postgraduates. Title of Master of Sport and Grandmaster, sports category candidate for Master of Sports and or first category. So these ones are very popular in Russia. So many people have them. Facts of serving punishment in the form of compulsory or correctional labor, restriction or deprivation of liberty, real or conditional, arrest, as well as administrative supervision. So that's probably me. Information available in the registry office, martial status and presence of children, employer, property, real estate, ground, air and water transport, status of deputy of the State Duma, regional assemblies of municipal representative bodies, head of municipal entity and terms of office, disability, incapacity or limited capacity, the right to defer mobilization, and also phone numbers, email addresses linked to the Gososlugi account, the thing that is becoming so huge, and it has been becoming huge in the recent years. And I guess I will have to make a video about this, but anyway, this is huge, this Gososlugi thing. And registration by place of residence and stay. All of this information will have sufficient data for people to do, well, practically anything with you. So they will know every single thing, and that's official. I don't know what to think about this and how to react to this right now. I'm kind of shocked. But, I mean, I wasn't expecting this. I'm still shocked at this fact. Hello, Lala. Rainy, cold London. Oh, well, is it not almost every single day raining in England? In my experience, I've been there in summer most of the time. Almost every single day was a rain, at least for a couple of minutes or hours. But anyway, I guess this what you say what rain is not drizzle or anything like it, right? Not a drizzle. Anyway, so back to the thing. The database is almost done. Putin is really excited right now. But that's not all. Because as of yesterday, at the evening practically, just a handful of new laws have been passed that are quite interesting in what they say. And you will see the connection right away, I'm pretty sure. So a couple of days there was information going about in the law infosphere that the State Duma will be toughening legislation on military conscription and military registration. So as you might know that in Russia we have this weird system. Of course we have conscription of this that is mandatory for all males to go through and go to the army for at least a year. It was 2 years, almost 15 years ago. Now it's not. 20 years ago, I think. Anyway, now it's 1 year, but it's not all great because the state of the whole thing is just, it's rubble at best. I mean, starting from the things that, the state of the buildings and of the everything surrounding it, and of the equipment and so on, so forth, it's just ruins and rubble. And the state of the whole, how would I call it, the process, I guess, that you are put through when you are a conscript, it's just plain pointless, and you will be lucky if you will just do nothing. You will get lucky not because, oh, it's good not to do anything. No, just because you won't get hurt, you won't get literally disabled, and you won't get bullied constantly, and you'll be lucky if you will have an opportunity to fight back, because as things work, you get bullied by the ones who are higher rank than you, and they have their connections, okay? If you do something badly, you get punished. If you don't like being punished, you'll get sued. This is how things work. And of course, it's not all the time, but it quite often happens. So I have to say that quite a lot of men actually, and that go there, not quite a lot, I don't know, this percentage wise it's quite significant anyway. These people I'm talking about, they actually commit suicide. So that's not great in my opinion, and it's pretty in horrid state, all this thing. So yes, this thing exists, and then we have these military conscription offices that previously have been working in the way that you would get a physical like a mail, a slip, or whatever you would call it, that states that you have to come to the conscription office, and then you have to do this if you get it physically, and you sign a paper that you have gotten it. And now they have this new system incoming, right? Very exciting news. And another thing that's happening is the following. What will change if the bill is passed? And now it is. Summons will be sent in both electronic and written form. As I stated previously, physical is when you will have to sign it. Now you get an electronic one that will be sent to your Gossuslugi account. That is personal. You prove that you're this exact person. You can't have multiple accounts or anything like it. The written summons will be deemed to have been received on the day it is received at the post office, while the electronic summons will be deemed to have been received from the moment it is posted in the personal account on the state services website. So this Gossuslugi website, right? Or it's a separate one, but it's connected anyway, so doesn't matter that much. So another thing that is happening is that there is a new concept of temporary measures aimed at ensuring compliance with the summons from the military enlistment office. And that is exciting. That is huge. Hello there, Marta. Yeah, this is, wow, it's, that's the top of the cake. Apart from the fact that you will get these automatically delivered and automatically signed electronic summons, right? Now, temporary measures aimed at ensuring compliance with the summons from a military enlistment office, which are Prohibition of state registration as an individual entrepreneur and self-employed person. That's the first one. And I have just recently, like 2 or 3 days ago, no, 4 days ago, registered as this individual, as self-employed person. And I guess it was lucky of me because it's coming, this, when you receive this summons message, summons slip, that's it. Like not immediately, of course. They say that failure to appear without a valid reason by a citizen registered with the military, and well, practically all of the citizens male citizens are registered in the military that are Russians. According to the delivered summons, after 20 calendar days will result in enforcement measures. The second one, prohibition of state registration of real estate. Suspension of driver's license. Prohibition of state registration of vehicles, and refusal to conclude a loan agreement or a loan agreement in general. So you can't get loans from banks. That's what it's saying. How about that? I don't know. This is kind of crazy. Like, of course, it was expected. For example, if a traffic police officer stops a citizen who has received summons, they may restrict the right to drive a vehicle until a decision from the military enlistment office to cancel the temporary measures appears in the Unified Register of Information of Citizens subject to initial registration for military service, citizens of military register, and citizens who are not on military register but obliged to be. That's the name of the thing, of the huge register. Mouthful, I know, but it's kind of how most of the things in Russia are. You have to, with regards to the law, it's like a huge list, just the names of things. The next thing is also kind of exciting. Rinat Davidov, well, I didn't make it in time. Now we are probably doomed, Man. Yeah. This is kind of true. I don't know whether... I'm pretty sure you still have some time. And since you are not... you probably didn't receive the thing yet. And the most, I guess, important thing right now, that there is no proof that mobilization continues. And this is a good thing, because there is a limit to what age you can get conscripted, and it's currently 27 years old, from 18 to 27, and it's going to increase probably this year, at the end of this year, to 30, up to 30 years old. Men will be conscriptable. So, but on the other hand, this law can be used on to punish people that will be mobilized, that can be mobilized. There is no nuance to this. This is just set in stone that people that are called upon basically, by these offices, right? These conscription offices. Now they will be deemed as ones who are under suspicion, right? Until they come to the under suspicion of not coming, or just evading the summons, and until they come to these offices, they will have these things. And the next thing, right, which is also extremely interesting, is that citizens subject to military service and receiving a summons will not be able to leave Russia until they fulfill their obligation to appear at the military enlistment office. The military enlistment office will notify the citizens of such decisions in the personal account on the state services website. Here it is, the top thing, the best thing that they would imagine that they could have done is this. And now in the future, I guess, month or so, this new database will be concluded. It will be united into this, like a glue. It will glue all this systems. It will bind them together. These laws, amazing new ones, these prohibitions, these methods of separating people. So now it's basically people that do not come to the summons are second grade people in Russia. And they have been so, which is quite interesting, for, I guess, in a way, quite a long time. It's a very common thing to talk among, as I would call them, general people, right? To say that, oh, if you haven't served, you're not a man, and things like this. We're not going into the details of what makes a man a man, but I'm pretty sure that is not limited to the fact whether you have served or not in the Russian military as well. You have so many militaries all over the world, and the Russian one is the one that makes you a man, right? And now, after all these things flying in the brains of, in the gray matter of all the people, now they made it basically a law, right? And I'm supposed to choose my words carefully, but in my uneducated point of view, this kind of reminds me of how slowly but steadily in the Nazi Germany people were segregated. Very specific types of people. But here we have it. Literally, people, you have a car, well, you can't drive it now. You want to make business? No. How about no? You have to come to the summons. You're not a person until you do so. Alex, do you think there will be another wave of young Russians leaving the country? Oh, absolutely. I think this might be the last wave of legally allowed young people leaving Russia. Because what comes next is if push comes to shove, then Russia continues with its mobilization. So as of now, in Russia we have conscription. Conscription is a completely different thing. It was happening and has been happening since, well, forever for Russia. And it's not exactly mobilization, but still people that go there, they will have their fair share of chance to go to the front lines, and it has happened before. And quite recently, even Putin talked about it, like he said, "Oh, we have to fix this. I will look at this under microscope. So no way. You be very careful. It is very important," and all of these things. And of course, it's you have not to take it with a grain of salt. You have to take it like at least split in half. And with this, you do something, like a raccoon that washes stuff in the water. You use this same method, and what's left off, this is probably what's the truth, but this still will have some truth in it. And what happens next after this disaster of a thing, after people of 40 plus years of age, like 57 years of age, were sent to the front lines, and also people that are of 18 years of age, they haven't been to the military, they haven't been conscripted, they have no training at all. They were sent to the front lines and died. Like literally, they just died, and so many things were covered up and stuff. It's a real thing, and it has been happening. But now, since Putin has basically signed the truth, proven that it's the truth, that it has been happening. He knows it's happening. He's not exactly happy about this fact. So everybody's going to hide this, and it will go a bit lower, these facts. But anyway, it will still happen, and everybody knows that these mistakes, as they call them, will continue happening. And people in Russia still have, well, they're not like, I don't think that they're completely stupid, even though Putin probably thinks that they are. I think that people are just damaged, and it decreases their capacity to think straight at times, at different times, at times of stress as well. And this is definitely a time of stress. But no stress can maintain a stable state of intensity. So now it's dropping, and once it dropped, they know they have to increase it. Now they increased it by pushing these laws and making this database set in place. Now it's going to start working. So will people, knowing all these facts, just straight from the names of these laws and all that, will they fear and fear death, fear going to the front lines? Absolutely. And will be there more people living? Yes, I'm sure of it. I'm expecting about the same, until there will be a I don't know, like some Soviet Union regime set upon people exiting and entering the country. I'm pretty sure that these numbers the current numbers will double at least. But other than that, on the other hand, there's plenty of people that will stay in Russia. And they, on the other hand, will be squished between the new age and their own limitations, unfortunately. And they will go to the front lines, of course, because who now wants to be a second-grade citizen? Now you might as well label yourself gay or trans in Russia, and you will get the same treatment, or probably even better now. Catching up with the chat. It's literally discrimination of all who don't mean to kill people. Exactly. It's exactly, you're Russian. You are supposed not to have a opinion, first of all, and second of all, you're supposed to just push your life, put the life out of your body by any means that the government says right, whether it's drinking or doing a shitty job for very extremely low pay, like teaching children, for example, right? Because if you would have wanted to make money, then you should have gone and became a businessman. Why are you teaching people? It's like a personal preference, to be a teacher. So therefore you lose money, you are not supposed to get any. And all that jazz that they call and they say, and I don't know what to say. I'm so angry right now. And I have to say I'm happy that I have left, but to the people that haven't left, I expect that this might be the last chance before the gates of heaven close right in front of your eyes. Like, maybe not heaven, but at least earth, because we are pretty close to hell back there, unfortunately. And the fact, this whole things that you can't register your, though I have to read this once again. Also, the people starting to raise their own questions with how will this law actually conflict with, for example, if someone has a dual citizenship, can Russia forbid those citizens to leave Russia? And so the lawyer has an answer for it. So according to the Article 6 of the law on Russian citizenship, a citizen of the Russian Federation who also holds another citizenship is considered by the Russian Federation only a citizen of the Russian Federation, with some exceptions. Therefore, acquiring another citizenship does not result in the loss of Russian citizenship, which makes sense. Hence, if a citizen receives a summons, travel restrictions will also apply. However, travel restrictions outside of Russia can only be imposed on citizens who are not in the reserve. This makes barely any sense, because almost every single citizen that is male or a female that has some military type work, or the institute it has finished, and for example medics and so on and so forth, they will all and are unless they are of age 18 to 27 in the reserve. So basically every single male in Russia who is from 27 currently is in the reserve, as am I. Even people, the list of people that can get into the reserve is so long. Like this law, I have actually opened it on my screen right now. It's like at least 3 pages long. I think, yeah. And it's a huge one. And a lot of people, even those who haven't been conscripted, who have no skills or no military skills, they are still considered the ones in reserve. So yes, the answer is yes, absolutely. Will you get conscripted? Will Russia not allow you to leave? Yes, it will. And this is kind of interesting because in the recent months, a lot of Russians have left Russia for different reasons. Some of which was to make birth to a baby. Is it correct in English? And to get a citizenship of another country by doing so, and then come back to Russia, because then they will, especially if they're like IT or somebody who is in this sphere, they will come back, and Russia now has lack of those specialists there that would work physically and not distance workers, and they will get all the money, right? And I have to say, my brother is one of those people, and he is actually thinking of going back right now, and I don't know what to think about it currently, because he just lost the job because the company he was working at in IT has declined. They just basically fired him for being abroad. That's about it. It's, of course, I have to say, it's a Russian company that does a lot of business with Russian businesses, and it's has connections with laws and so on and so forth. But it's basically a company that provides information on laws and other companies as well. But anyway, it's not a single company that does that. So many Russian companies just fire people or silently fire them. I don't know how to say it. And it's not like they get 6 months of pay or anything like it, like in Germany or USA. I don't know how much, but you won't get any, basically. If you get fired in Russia, they okay, we pay you for this month, and then you say bye-bye, okay? Maybe they will pay half of it, of your monthly pay, for the next month, and that's it. Because you're a second-grade citizen, remember? Alex, given how close Serbia is to Russia culturally, is there any risk of Serbian authorities forcing Russian refugees back to Russia? The answer, in my opinion, would be quite short. The answer would be, I don't think so. The reason for it is currently there are a couple of things that are being improved in the Serbian law with regards of Russian citizens that have left Russia. So it's a simpler, they are trying to simplify the procedure of Russians, particularly receiving a Serbian passport. And currently it's just developing. I have no clue how it will go, but there are many things that are being improved, and they will continue being improved. And I don't know, as I've said about Serbia, I have an interesting feeling about Serbia in a way that, you know, I've heard and I've seen that in America it's this the public is split between two ways of living, right? The Democrats and the Republicans, and everybody is voting for Trump or Hillary or so on and so forth. And it's basically 50-50. I'm pretty sure it's almost exactly the same here in Serbia. And I think and I feel that it's a good place for citizens to be, in a couple of ways, just minor ways, but it still helps in a way that the government has to stay on its toes all the time. It can't go one way or the other, like what is happening in Russia currently and a couple of other countries as well, where they just go over the top and people are like, yay, like 60% at least of people, they are happy and, just throwing fireworks and so on, and drinking champagne and celebrating, and the other half is like just going to end their lives or somebody else's lives because they want to end the government or something like this. And this some of it is happening in Russia, and at least in hearts of people currently. And this is not like great, because when you have 40 or 30% of the population of the country like being alienated, like literally alienated, it's not a good thing. And 50-50 is a good place to be, in my opinion, of course. Your brother can find another job in Argentina, which is a beautiful country right now. Anything is better than yeah. Well, everyone's life is their own, and what he does with it, I will not push him anyway, because in our genes, I'm pretty sure in the genes of many of the Russians as well, there is this thing: if somebody pushes you to do something, you push back twice as much. No matter which way they are being pushed, even if it's a correct way and all of the other ways is doom, you still push back like crazy. And yeah, this is all I'm going to say about my brother. Good. They want to join Europe one day, I think. Yes. So yes, with regards of Serbia, it's kind of split between Russia and Europe, and the government is balancing like an overloaded waiter with plates and drinks stacked upon each other. Something like this, and I don't know how happy they are. European Union. Did I say it wrong? Anyway, yes, they think of doing it, but economically they are not in the state to do so, and as well as the fact that I'm pretty sure that Serbia has a lot of stuff being produced here, and it's cheaper for European countries to produce this stuff here in Serbia and not go like to India and other places. And the reason for the cheapness is there are barely any limits to ecological limits and so on. And they throw fumes out in the air and so forth, and it saves money and time, because you don't have to move stuff around too much. So if they join the European Union, they will lose all these production facilities as well, and that's a huge chunk of money. Yes. So this is, I don't know what to think about this whole thing, apart from being just angry, and a bit happy that I was able to leave at the correct time, even register my stuff. But so pissed. Of course, in Russia, all the time you feel like you're a second-grade citizen unless you work in the government or something like this, and then you would go around and tell people like, oh, look at me, I work at the government, I'm very profound and very cool, and my back is always warm, backside, so that's about it. Because your pay isn't that great unless you, you outsource the money intake from some place else. But other than that, yes, you will be a second-grade citizen, and with the whole new upgrades, that the police has gotten with the amount of funding that is being increased each year for the police and for the army, which apparently didn't go exactly where it was supposed to, which is nothing new for Russia. But yes, this all the other people are second grade, and the ones who are avoiding the summons are third grade. That would be, I presume. So sad. Like, let me go through the list of things once again. The draft law provides the following restrictions: prohibition of state registration as an individual entrepreneur and self-employed person. It's a big thing if you want to make any type of business. They are cracking down really hard on people not paying taxes and so forth, and there are a lot of companies now. Even I am currently, which actually pisses me off greatly. I have to pay taxes in Russia because I work in a Russian company that is all white, what we call it, not in a racial way, but the pay is all white and not black and gray. In Russia we call it that way, and white is like by the books everything is, gray would and black would be like off the books, and the gray is right in the middle. So individual entrepreneur is basically all the types of businesses and small businesses and so on. And self-employed person is if you would pay the taxes yourself and not your employer. And the tax Taxation is less. I'm pretty sure it is less. Yes, for people that are self-employed. So yeah, here's this thing, and then prohibition on state registration of real estate. This is another great thing. So if you're buying, or I'm pretty sure you can sell stuff still, but buying stuff is, yes, very limited. Suspension of the driver's license. This is a hot one. So until you visit the enlistment office, you are now walking, and you could imagine walking through all of the Moscow, for example, which is like 60 kilometers wide, and if you go through the widest part of it, like the longest part, it's about, I don't know what it's about. It's huge. It's more than that. And you're walking basically, and in the metro, in the subway, every corner you have like dozens, literal dozens at every station now. Policemen and the Rosgvardia, as it is called in Russia. It's everywhere. They are everywhere, and they're giving out and stopping people. Previously, they were stopping people just for being not white, which is not racist at all. Of course, it's not racist, and Russia is not a racist country. Of course not. And now it's second-grade citizens as well, and young ones who are of conscriptable age as well. And it started off as people were getting stopped by the same policemen and Rosguardians as to check whether they have the COVID thing or not. But now it's that, and I guess you could imagine how one became the other in a magical trick made by Russian government. Very exciting until you die at the front lines. The next thing is prohibition of state registration of vehicles. So of course buying a vehicle would be stopped. Refusal to conclude a loan, and loaning money from the bank. But I'm pretty sure that the black market will be huge, and great job. Now stuff will go like crazy, and the people that will not be able to live in the following months, like month period, one singular month, they will probably then have to pay a huge chunk of money to make fake documents, to pay bribes on a couple of levels. Because even when I was leaving, some people had to pay bribes, not the ones that I have met personally, but quite a lot of people I've heard paid bribes to cops and some other ones as well, border police, National Guard, or whatever you call it. Okay. I hope Solovyov sons led by example and register. What a pitiful creature. Oh, Solovyov. He's a what a person. So my fiance was working on a radio station in Russia, doing administrative work, and this radio station was the only radio station in Russia that hasn't been resold and has existed with a singular owner, well, being still at the station for 24 or 25 years. Then it ended, of course, this story, but before it did, they apparently, these people, and it's a anti-Russian radio station, not anti-Russian, anti-Russian government. It's an anti-Putin government, and it's very low-key in a way that what they say is and can't upright be called as breaking the law or whatever, you know. And the idea, why am I telling this? Because a couple of these people have actually worked with the guy, with Solovyov, many years ago when he was just starting out. And even then, they were calling him a piece of shite. Because he was lying. He was setting people up. He was doing so many things wrong. And it was many, many years ago, even before he became this huge deal. And now he has his own personal show that is called with his name, you know. It's a huge deal. He's making a lot of money. I don't want to lie, but I think it was 1.5 million rubles for one show, and he was doing at least one show a week. Million rubles, so 1.6, what was it? I don't know. Anyway, it's a huge amount of money, huge chunk. I could actually calculate it, you know. And my father is watching him, Solovyov. So it's about $20,000 as of now. And it was an old information for one show. So he makes at least 4 shows a month. So it's 80,000. And it's just from this thing. And he does a couple of those things. And sometimes he does a couple of shows a week. And he also comes as a guest to other shows. He also has a YouTube channel, and I don't know. That's just the official numbers. And it's giant, you know. He's doing way more. Of course, he sold his soul for this job, like literally, and way before it was even an option for him. Focus has gone a bit blurry. Is it okay now? Check. The US has their mini Solovyovs as well. I don't know how mini you can go, because this guy is like 1.6 meters high. He is like this much lower than me, at least. So he's like almost to the chin for me. That RT woman is just as evil. what is her name? Something Caucasian. And Caucasian means a different thing in Russia. Okay, I forget the name, but Russia Today is popular here, by the way. I haven't watched it yet. In Serbia, it's a popular one because, well, yes, European Union has done a lot of mistakes in regards with Serbia, and this is to be expected. But anyway, yeah, it kind of shocked me that Russia Today, and then I've seen I have to go back to work. Very interesting. We'll catch up later. See ya, Kevcho. Which one is best? Yeah. She is... Yeah. Horrible people, but they make great money and they're happy. And they are safe from the whole other world that is evil and want to get them. Yes. So here it is, a quick recap of Russia tightening the knots on the wrists of young Russians and not so young Russians as well. So the only ones who will still have unless there is a mobilization, right? Chance to leave with the ones who is studying in a Russian university, and I don't know who else. I'm pretty sure that the only ones who will have the opportunity will be during the mobilization. Will be the ones who are students in a Russian university. And the thing is, when you go to a Russian university, you quite often leave your documents, like a couple of them, in the university itself. And I still have this document still lying in my university as well. This document that proves that you have finished the... How would I translate it? The basic level. So we have 11 years of school in Russia, and 9 years is the absolute minimum that you have to go through, basically, to get any job. But nobody actually, not nobody, but it's rare for someone to actually ask for your document proving that you have finished school. In my experience, it's rare, and it doesn't matter. But still, 9 years is the minimum, and after which you can go to a college, and then you can go to a university. And all these people have a document that proves that they are not conscriptable because they are in a university, but they have to prove it every half a year or so. Yeah. By providing the document signed by the by the university itself. Other than that, if you're a woman, you can go. And in Russia, you can't really say that you're a woman and to become a woman because of that. Only the government says who you are. You don't have an opportunity in that, a voice in that. Okay, guys. this is what things do you think I should explain more, at least which things I should explain more to you? Are all of the things that I've said understood, at least in some ways? Because I am interested. Will you be interested in watching a complete video with me just going through how these things work, or not? Because in Russia, this whole story is kind of confusing, and I've seen some other Russian YouTubers explaining how the conscription works. Anything about life in Serbia, life in Russia, cooking programs. Cooking programs. That's a good name. Yeah, I was going actually to make a video about kulich, the thing that it's called in Russian. And I tried making one, and it wasn't bad. It actually tasted pretty good, but this topping thing, it's how would I call it in English? This whole thing is like a cake that is being done at the Easter. But it's a particular one, so Italians do make their own cake like this, and it's very popular, and it's still popular in Russia. But Russia has its own way of making it, and it's the best tasting ones are usually made in churches. And I was going to make one. I made one, but I didn't have the forms for them to be baked in. And I had to bake it in a huge one, like this giant one, and I found it. So after we moved, I found it in the cupboard somewhere, and it's just crooked in all ways. And anyway. So this was horrible, and then the topping of the white stuff with egg whites and sugar, and I used different sugar because we are not eating white sugar, and I used coconut sugar, which is actually amazing, but amazing in a way that it's has very low insulin response, like lower than white flour, basically. Meringue, yeah, I guess, in a way, but it's not crusty. Yeah, it's soft, but not like jelly type soft. I made this thing, it looked horrible. It was too jelly, and I don't know. Excuse me. It tasted kind of great in a way, but it looked horrible, and maybe next time. Everything was understood, but would like to know more about how all these changes will impact people. Yeah, we will be seeing more of that, definitely. Unified register of summons, yeah. Extremely interested in learning the realities of life in Russia. It's very hard to separate now living in Russia from these atrocious things that are happening. At least for me, I don't know. I will try. Anyway, thank you guys for coming. This was an interesting little talk. I hope you enjoyed it as well and explained some things. So more Russians. I hope that more Russians, and I think that more Russians will be leaving, and way more. So I don't know what's going to happen with the whole rental market. It's jumping, and these. So I just today looked at the money, the ruble to euro and ruble to dollars, and it increased. Like it was 1 euro was about 80 rubles, and now it's 90 rubles. And dollar was 75, now it's 83. So okay, and we are paying in euros and making money. We are paying in euros, yeah, and making money in rubles. So I don't know. This is kind of icky. Yeah, so this whole story. But yes, hopes are up. Things are improving slowly. So thank you everybody for coming and talking. I am thinking about 2 new videos right now. Which one comes next? I'm not sure. Developing a plan of attack. But anyway, stay tuned, and thank you for coming. Much love and respect. We'll be leaving. So bye bye everybody. Hello and bye bye Zoe. Bye bye Lala, Marta. Kevcho is left already. And last one 207. Ciao, до свидания.